Like, okay, hello everyone. And yes, we are on live. I'm on live and hope you're all doing fine. Today is Saturday and I'm back on with my pep talk with yet another interesting, candid interview with an rising young leader who's an activist, social activist, and of course, he is also into an independent student-led heritage exploration initiative. He's the founder of this initiative called Karwan. He's an undergraduate from Dayal Singh College of Delhi University. Well, he is listed in the Delhi University 21 under 21 list of young achievers young achievers published by India's largest independent student newspaper, Delhi University Beat, DU Beat. Well, he has debuted into writing with his book, The Teacher I Never Met, at the age of 16. And he has started writing from a very tender age of 11 years. Well, his write-up are primarily on Indian youth, creative leadership in students, and also students in politics. Well, he has been a keynote speaker in many prestigious venues, and uh, he's been talking on different youth challenges in schools and colleges. Well, there's so much to know about him, and he is my guest for today's pep talk. Be Spoken's and Be Heard's pep talk, wherein I'll be inviting guests from different domains of life, wherein they will be sharing their journeys, their aspirations, their hurdles, their challenges, and how they are overcoming it through their belief system. Yes. And I have my guest Ishan Sharma from Kanpur. He's right now in Kanpur, but he's actually studying in Delhi. Hey, Ishan, good evening and welcome to Pep Talk.
Hello, hi. Thank you very much for this invitation and for this very generous introduction. It's truly an honor to be here.
Okay, wow. So, Ishan, I'm so curious to know what is this Karvan? What is this initiative?
So, Karma is an initiative started by me and my friends in Delhi University because we see India as a very rapidly changing nation, and in this blind race of modernization and development, we are slowly and gradually forgetting our own history, our own roots from where it all began.
Right.
So, we started with organizing some heritage walks in Delhi, in Delhi, with a very famous history buff and our mentor, Sohail Ashmi sir.
Okay.
Since then, we have organized many walks and, lectures at different heritage sites in Delhi. So
Okay.
the basic idea is to promote the knowledge of history among young minds and to
Okay.
inspire them to be inquisitive and passionate about this diverse field, and to make the youth understand the importance of history and heritage. Because I was once told by a historian that when you are in the present you cannot escape your past, and when you study history you cannot escape the present. So it is
Correct.
very intermingled with your present. The history is very
Right.
intermingled, so you
Right.
cannot, basically you cannot escape it.
Correct.
So seeing this challenge, we decided to do something on our level to,
Right.
popularize history, to make students, engaged with history, because history is often said to be very boring because it is
Right.
taught inside a classroom. History is
Right.
something to be explored, not taught in a classroom on a blackboard.
Exactly. You can't teach history on blackboard. Wow, that's a awesome thought. In fact, when you're talking about history, I can literally see a Prithviraj Chauhan and all the part. I can only see through movies because through only movies we are now introduced to our history,
Yeah,
maybe world history and Indian history, independence, everything.
but the popular cultures are very much exaggerated, and that is
Right,
not clear facts. History
right,
is often, about the victors and the losers, but is much more than that.
right. So true. It's more than that. History is more than that. Well, you're also into writing and you also have debuted your first book and ready to launch the second one too. So, talk about your books.
So as you said in the introduction, that I started writing at the age of 11 when my grandfather told me to write a poem on my grandmother.
Okay.
So yeah, so my literature, my guru who introduced me to writing was my grandfather, later Shri Babulal Sharma ji. He was an Urdu poet. So
Okay.
So he taught me Urdu at a very young age. I never,
Okay.
never really got into Urdu, but I read Urdu poetry. And I
Okay.
started with Hindi poetry. I did some, writings at
Right.
that time. Then I basically started writing articles on social issues at around the age of 14. Then I really got into writing some articles for some international magazines in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then at the age of 16, I decided to write a book on Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
Awesome.
So my book, The Teacher I Never Met, that was a debut book that was based on the life and works of Dr. Kalam, who was my mentor at some point of time, and he still is. And
Okay.
I'm a very big Kalamian, as I call, followers of Kalam. So yeah,
Right.
he was my guide. He is my guide, and all my books are inspired by him.
Right. Okay. Great. So Kalam's thoughts, and it inspires the whole world, not just, I mean, every nook and corner of the world knows Abdul Kalam sir, and everybody wants to be inspired. He's one such a top of inspiration. And how about your recent one, the new one which you're about to write, something on India in 2020, because that would be your latest thoughts. What is it about?
Uh, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had a dream,
Right.
which he documented in the late 90s for the government of India, called the Vision India 2020, where
Right.
he decided that there are 10 points that should make India an economically developed nation. That is very well available online, and people can go and read about it, from diminishing the rural and urban divide, to
Right.
making healthcare affordable for all and education affordable for all. There are many aspects that needed to be reformed and revolutionized. But I think it is the system and it is the politics of India that
Right.
hinder the way, and it was not fulfilled by
Correct.
2020. And we are seeing that we are in between a pandemic in this year. So
Right.
yeah, so I am thinking that uh, as India is going to be the youngest nation by the end of this year, we have the potential for the next 1 decade, when the population will decrease by 2027. We will start decreasing. The youth population will start decreasing from 2027. So we
Okay.
have about 7 to 10 years when the youth of this nation can make his dream come true, though many say that his dream was over enthusiastically presented, and some facts and figures were not practical. But
Right.
I think Dr. Kalam was the first person to at least give us some optimism that yes, we can be an independent and we can be an self-reliant, economically developed nation.
Correct.
So if not 100%, at least 50% done would be also a good achievement for all of us by 2030.
True.
So I am writing about the challenges that hinders the way still, like
Right.
the politics, and the revolution that is needed in the agriculture. And I've been interviewing people like Professor M.S. Swaminathan. He's the father of the Green Revolution in India. I've
Right.
been interviewing Bharat Ratna C.N.R. Rao on science and technology. For education, I interviewed Padma Shri Arvind Gupta. He's a toy maker and innovator.
Right. Okay.
So I'm taking interviews of the experts in the field as well as the youth.
Right.
So I am trying to make this book a roadmap for the youth, those
Right.
who wish to pursue something. You can contribute to the nation at any way, in any way, at any level. Even
Right.
if you are a child, you can contribute by studying hard and
Right.
gaining the knowledge, not marks.
Right.
Because since yesterday I've been getting notifications on my Facebook that my son got 99%, my son got 70.
Okay.
This doesn't really matter. Marks doesn't really matter. It matters
Right.
that the knowledge that you gained. And I think the 99% chap might not have that knowledge that 76% might have. So
Correct.
contribution to the nation, how the youth can contribute, that is the basic motto of this book. And I think this book will come out by the end of this year or by the next year probably.
Okay. Okay. So, how are you planning to launch it? Any plans? Like, how can we evaluate your books?
I,
When
I I I do not think about publishing and and launching it beforehand. I think at this time I must give my best to researching. I am
okay,
reading more than 20 books right now on this, and I'm writing
okay,
a lot. During this pandemic, I've been writing a lot of chapters. I've
right,
added a chapter on mental health after the sudden suicide of Sushant Singh Rajput and
yes,
many
absolutely,
the debate that started from there. So
right,
I've added a chapter on mental health as well. So
right,
I'm increasing the horizon of the book, and
okay.
I'm trying to include as many things as possible. So I'm not thinking about publishing it right now.
That's it.
I'll think about it later on.
Oh, great, great. Do add on your ideologies, your the learnings that you are acquiring through meeting different people, interacting with the experts in your domain of subjects. Wonderful, wonderful. You're quite active on online platforms, especially with your write-ups. So, which genre you choose to write, and who are your audience online? Online.
Recently, I am writing on history related topics. I wrote I wrote an article on the Central Vista project. It's a heritage, what you say, renovation project launched by
Okay.
the government of India, that they are planning to build a new parliament at
Mm-hmm.
the cost of 20,000 crore rupees. And
Oh,
it was, yeah. So I'm not writing against or for it, but I am presenting the facts and figures. I'm
okay.
presenting the history of the Vista project, and then I write on the social issues. I
Okay.
write on youth and politics, as you said. I write on the student politics a lot.
Okay.
I I write on the citizenship amendment bill that was presented last year, and there was much debates and very many
Okay.
protests going on in the nation. So I write
Right.
on that. I write on
Okay.
politics basically.
Okay. So anything controversial like that led to you, like, why did you write on this? Because people are like ready to pounce on us when they are like even not required, they'll just start being judgmental. They know
Yeah,
about it, they don't know about it, that's still. So how is the response from your audience or readers?
it's good. Yeah, because I do not draw any conclusions to in any of my articles.
Oh,
I
okay.
just present facts,
Thanks.
and I do not take sides.
Okay.
I think a youth must be open-minded. They
Okay.
should not make conclusions. They must take in account every and each side, and they must think logically and rationally, and they then must choose their side if they want to support the left or right or anything else.
Wow. So with this, I want to ask you the next question. Like you're talking about logical thinking. Don't be. You should not be rationalizing things. And you're also quite vocal on inculcating creative leadership in students. This is certainly an aspect that every leader wants to have a style. They have a style of their own, and you're also a rising young leader in your own circuits. Then you're also voicing certain things, issues in youth students communities. So now that the pandemic has hit and the schools are closed and everybody are worried about the coming academic years. So what would you suggest would be like for an aspiring leader? What could be their style? How should they adapt to this new normal thing? You know, what would be the leadership style? What would you advocate?
As Certainly, I will answer that in a bit. But to begin with, I'll list down some characteristics of good leadership for the audience.
Go ahead.
Who is a good leader? Because it is not the political leaders; they are politicians. There's
Right,
a clear distinction between politicians and leaders. A
right.
politicians promises and leaders, do those promised things.
Yes, yes, yes.
So the first thing is a leader should be ready to give to others. Rather than asking from others, it should
Right,
a leader should give to others.
correct.
Second thing is a leader should be equipped to manage a change. This pandemic is a radical change in the world. It has changed everything.
Right,
We are in a normal now.
right,
A leader will be fully equipped to fight this change. In
right,
India, we saw that our healthcare system was not at all equipped to fight this pandemic.
right, right.
And our education system was not yet, the digital infrastructure, as you say, your Wi-Fi was not working this day. Our
Yes.
digital infrastructure is not ready to fight this pandemic. A
Right.
leader must be working on that rather than putting activists in jail, or doing taking actions of that can be done later on. A leader should have mobility of nobility of heart. He must be noble. He must be generous. He must be who can love people.
Right.
A leader should have vision and clear thinking and the capacity to be a facilitator. He could facilitate other people,
Right.
and he could include everyone. He should be inclusive. So, as you asked me about creative leadership is the need of the hour. We have enough political leaders. We have good political leaders. Our prime minister is a good leader in a way. I do not, I might not agree with much of the politics of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but I like the leadership qualities of a person.
Right.
Then I think, for as you asked for schools, the first
Right.
thing a leader must do is to ask students for their stand.
Right.
Like the Delhi University is doing an open book examinations, and all the fraternities against it, because there is a wide digital gap in India. People
True.
who are stuck in their villages can't have the cannot afford a good internet connection or a
Right.
good laptop to give the
Right.
examination. Even
Correct.
the basic data, even the basic, the framework is not up to the mark. they
Right.
they did a mock test paper which was very much, a very bad uh, experience for students.
Right.
So I think a creative leadership here would think about it, give it a thought, that if they are facing some challenges, we should work on it rather than imposing it unwillingly. So they
Okay.
must work on it. And I think for schools, I think the education ministry is doing very well, and I think they are taking good steps. That they just recently launched a guideline that there must not be more than 3 hours class for anybody. I think it was recently, it was launched yesterday.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that is a good step,
Right.
uh, and I think that should that must do fairly for everybody.
Right. Awesome. So you have spoke about the glitches associated with digital learning
Yes.
and where our country isn't still ready for it. You gave a wonderful fact and information. And my viewers who are watching us probably will be aware of these things, but they don't talk about it. Thanks for bringing such a information to my pep talk. And here comes the rapid question round. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, great. So what inspires Ishan Sharma?
Myself,
Oh, great. Wow. Like in which way?
nobody can inspire you if you are not ready for it. If you are
Exactly.
asking for role models, my role model is Kalam Saab and Mahatma Gandhi ji.
Right. Okay. So I had that answer previously already. So I didn't ask that. That's why I asked you who inspires you. I was expecting only Kalam, but you said you yourself inspire yourself. Wonderful. And if you are have one, if you have to have one characteristic, or you don't want that in your life, or which is that one? What it?
One thing I don't want is my laziness, and
Okay.
you see, the question of what I want is, human wants are unlimited. We want everything in the world. So that question is, very unfair for
Okay.
for myself
But
to
anything,
receive.
anything, just one to name in the list for the sake of the question.
So I want to fly.
You want to
I want to, I want the ability to fly.
Oh, great. Wow. Well, how about if you get a 1 minute fame, that's such a situation, what would be you be doing in that 1 minute fame round?
I'll enjoy it because you cannot do anything in 1 minute. So rather than wasting on thinking, I will,
Okay.
without any without any thought process, I'll just enjoy it.
Oh, great. So you'll be in the moment.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So, how about you being like reading? Like you, before getting into writing, you obviously have to read something. So, what sort of books, do you like to read? Any recommendations for our viewers?
If they want to write about politics like I do, I write about social activism. they
Okay.
should read some, good non-fiction books that are available. That right now I have many books on my desk, and
Okay.
one is Citizen Raj. It is about the history of Indian elections from 1952 to 2019
Okay.
by Surjit Bhalla, and there's a book by Manish Sisodia on the education system, the
Okay.
Siksha,
Okay.
and there's an edited book on rethinking India called The Vision of a Nation.
Okay.
Then there's a book by Chris Anderson on TED Talks.
Uh-huh.
It is a guide on public speaking.
Okay.
I still need, a guide to help me out with any
Yes.
question.
Right.
Then there's a book. Then I told you that I read Urdu
Right.
poetry, so I have Javed Akhtar books, and I have
Okay.
Rahat Indori books
Okay.
for poetry.
Awesome. Wow. Anything you wish to share from Javed Akhtar Sahab's poetry? Anything that inspired you or you want to share with
I
us?
think he is somebody who is very straightforward.
Right.
You know, he is a very rational being, and
So true.
he's an atheist.
Right.
So he recently got the Richard Dawkins Award for, rationality and for scientific temperament. I think
Okay.
that is something I really admire in him.
Okay. Okay.
And as far as his poetry, I do not remember any now, but I can read out something if you
Yeah.
want. Just a moment. I'm taking out the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I'll read this ghazal of just two lines of this ghazal.
Sure.
That
Sure. Go ahead.
it's my one of my favorite. That हमारे शौक की ये इंतहा थी, कदम रखा की मंजिल रास्ता थी. इंतहा मतलब हद. कि हमारे शौक की ये इंतहा थी, कदम रखा की मंजिल रास्ता थी. बिछड़ के डार से बन बन फिरा वो, हिरण को अपनी कस्तूरी सजा थी. कभी जो ख्वाब था वो पा लिया है, मगर जो खो गई वो चीज क्या थी. मैं
Okay.
बचपन में खिलौने तोड़ता था, मैं बचपन में खिलौने तोड़ता था, मेरे अंजाम की वो इब्तदा थी. अंजाम इज द एंड एंड इब्तदा इज
Right.
शुरुआत, सो इट इज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ माय एंड.
Okay.
मोहब्बत मर गई मुझको भी गम है, मेरे अच्छे दिन की आशना थी.
Okay.
जिसे छू लूं मैं वो हर जा जिसे छू लूं मैं वो हो जाए सोना, तुझे देखा तो जाना बद दुआ थी.
Okay.
मरीज़े ख्वाब तो मरीज़े ख्वाब को तो अब शफा है, शफा इस सपने देखने. हु
Yes.
इज यू disease of
Right.
dreaming.
Yes.
And then मगर जिंदगी मगर दुनिया बड़ी कड़वी दवा थी.
Wow.
मरीज़े ख्वाब को तो अब शफा है, मगर दुनिया बड़ी कड़वी दवा थी. So this is
Beautiful.
something written by
I
Javed Saab.
have like I love to learn languages, and Urdu is in my bucket list.
Yeah, this is a good book for everybody. Tarkash
Okay.
by Javed Akhtar. It is a very good book for everybody.
Tarkash. Right. What does it mean, Tarkash?
Tarkash is, I think, conflict. I do not know the real meaning. I
Okay.
forgot the meaning.
I love knowing the title names, meanings.
Yeah. So I think Urdu it is a beautiful,
Yes, absolutely.
language. It is
Yes.
one of the beautiful languages after Bengali, I think. I like
Okay.
Bengali a lot. I do
Oh,
not
is it?
know it, I do not know the language, but I
Okay.
listen to Bengali songs, the Rabindra Sangeet.
Okay.
It is one of
Rabindranath
the
Sangeet, yes, I can understand. I have friends from West Bengal who have introduced me to Rabindranath Sangeet. So I
yeah.
quite understand the literature. Well, Ishan, so much about books, your ideologies, your beliefs, your leadership style, your recommendations. Awesome. And you just spoke about music. So, what sort of music? You already answered that. You love Bengal. Any filmy music?
I do not like
Okay.
present day music
Okay.
of this Bollywood, new Bollywood songs. I do not like. I
Okay.
am very much like my grandfather,
Okay.
of the era of the gramophone. I
Oh,
like
great to see.
1940s 50s music. I
Okay.
like the music of Devanand Saab and
Mhm.
Dilip Kumar Saab, and then I like Carnatic music,
Ah,
classical Carnatic music.
okay.
I was listening to Prince Rama Verma ji, who is from the Travancore princely
Okay.
state.
Mhm.
He is a
Okay.
classical singer.
So you learned any musical instruments or are you interested to sing vocal? Like since you love poetry and you're into literature, you're reading lots of books. Do you love singing too?
I am a bathroom singer for sure.
Okay, I was expecting, yes, I am, and I were a bathroom singer.
I this is, singing is a God gift,
Right.
which I think the Almighty forgot to, fill into me.
Okay, he failed to give you that one talent. Oh,
Yeah.
well, you are a, man, a boy of all sort of skills and talents, and I wish you to have you more.
Yeah.
And since with the journey is still going on and it continues, you have to pick up one or the other skill on your way.
Yes.
Well, I have a rhetorical question for you since you're into the flow of the answering. So, if you're stranded in an island and there's no one to rescue you and no one around, so how do you see the situation?
I think I that's a very difficult to ask because I do not like to be alone. I'm a very social person, so I
Okay.
might be singing because in a bathroom you are alone. So yeah, I'll be singing. I'll be showing my bathroom singing talent to everybody who can be there, who will be there on the island. That's no one.
Okay. So, you'll be giving pre auditions to yourself
Yeah,
since
the
you
Indian Idol.
inspire yourself a lot.
Yeah,
So my previous guests, they have given quite an interesting answer, something like this, something somewhere you're closer to them. Since stranding in an island is no less like us arrested right now, not meeting our besties or we are in
no, no,
social.
stranded in an island is the worst because
Okay,
at least you are with your family. That's a
yes,
blessing. You
true,
get to spend time with your loved ones. Nobody
true.
love more than your family.
Absolutely, totally agree on that. So we are at the end of today's pep talk, and it has been really wonderful knowing you more, your books, what you think in certain situations, what inspires you, what you love to listen. Especially thanks for sharing Javed Akhtar Saab's Turkish,
Ji.
that verses. Did I say it right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay,
Turkish.
yeah. So I quite learned a bit, and in fact, I'm thinking to, once this session is over, I'll look into some Urdu verses since I
Yeah,
also.
go to there's a website called Rekta. So those who are interested in Urdu, they
Okay,
can go to that website and they can
okay,
learn. Yeah,
wow. And I just heard about Galibs, all the things, but I've never gone into it. I just had this song, Dil To Bacha Hai Ji, that song, the how it goes, the wording, the lyrics, so mesmerizing. Urdu is such a beautiful language.
Galib is more than that. Galib is an ocean of
Yes, yes, absolutely.
literature, and nobody can get very
Right,
any closer to him.
right. I have lost in my time. I have to pick up all these skills since I have little bit time. I need to
Yeah,
pick up these talents. Thanks for reintroducing me to such a beautiful language.
yeah,
Well, Ishan, we are about to say bye-bye to each other.
yeah.
But before you leave, before I say bye-bye to you, I want you to comment and give me any suggestions. How can I improve my pep talks? You know, any recommendations, anything you wish to share?
Yeah, so I think it is very commendable to see a platform like this because, as I already mentioned, as I always say, India is the youngest country with the oldest civilization,
Right,
and it is very important to include the youngsters and
right,
to involve them in this such a platform
right,
where you allow them to share their thoughts, their ideologies, their thinking, that might inspire people who are watching us and who
right.
might that might spark an ignition of this inspiration and motivation in somebody, and
Right.
he or she can change the world at any time. So I think this is such a good thing, and I think I should congratulate you for bringing such a great platform to all of us. Thank you very much, Sudha.
Thank you, Ishan, for such lovely words and complimenting my efforts. Thank you very much. Well, bye-bye, Ishan. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Back to you all again. Yes, I hope you all enjoyed Ishan's journey, the way he has narrated and the way he is taking things ahead. He's so young, and still there are so many, the kind of process he's doing with history, making facts and information reaching to the public, making things clear that history is not on blackboards. It has to be part of our life, and everybody knows, each human being has their own history and stories to narrate. Well, if you're someone who wish to share your story, your journeys, your accomplishments with me, your communication coach Sudhamai, in my pep talk, then hey, you can message me and I am going to invite you for any of my pep talk sessions. Well, this is it from my end. Have a great weekend and let's see who will be our next guest, right? Till then, keep guessing and I'll be back again with my pep talk just for all of you. And my guests will be sharing their beautiful journeys. Bye bye.